morning, everyone. Happy day before Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, I hope that that is going well for you. It's a tough day of travel, but we're about to get on the road too. So I'll join you in the frustration and in the celebration of singing, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go kind of thing. Um, so a friend coming on today. How would I talk about this friend? Oh, wow. She has been bonkers important in my life for more than half my life. So rather than me try to come up with good accolades, let's just bring on Nicole Fenstad and get right to the conversation. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Dana.
Okay, well, I thought we were going to be able to do this. I don't think I can do that. I don't know that you've ever called me Dana in my entire life. I certainly never call you Nicole.
It's true.
So just for the listening audience, I call her Lester. It's a long story. We're not going to go into it. It's not that interesting. And what do you want to call me today?
Well, either Dane or Annika. Annika's another one that we used to call you. And your holiday's coming up pretty soon.
Yes. So whatever. It's, when you have long, old friendships, they have long, old stories that go with them. So, yeah, not many people, I think, would look at Nicole Fenstad in a princess costume, which is her professional career, and go, well, you look like a Lester, but that's what she is to me. So that's how that goes. Thanks for joining me.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm really happy to have you. These conversations have been so interesting. As I said one day earlier this week, I sort of thought I knew what the people I knew really well would say, and they've surprised me. And then I very intentionally invited some people who I don't know very well. And those conversations have been really surprising and fantastic too. So I think the takeaways have been as meaningful as I hope they would be. And I expect nothing less from today's conversation. So let's just go right with the first question, which is, what are one or two lessons that you learned before 50 that have served you well post 50? And it's important to note, as with many of the people I've talked to, you're not well into 50. You're just months older than I am.
Right. So I turned 50 in June. And I was thinking about this, and I don't know if I necessarily learned it since turning 50 or before 50, but just as I have aged and grown over the years. But the whole idea of trust, I'm going to talk today about there's 4 T words that I want to talk about. And the first one is to trust. And it's to trust where you're at in life, wherever you are in your career, in your personal life, and to not manhandle where I think I should be versus the reality of where it is, and to find the beauty in whatever your reality is. Now, did I think I was going to be a 50-year-old princess? No, I didn't. So I run a princess party business for the past almost 17 years. So I dress up like different princesses. And
it is sort of disappointing that you are just yourself today, and shocking, more to the point. I almost never see you just as you.
Well, I was a butterfly like about an hour ago, but I did take off the butterfly costume. So no, I have had some amazing blessings in regards to my career, taking me in a path I didn't think. Like, I thought I was always going to be an actress, and it led me down this path of starting a children's entertainment company, which has been beautiful in so many ways and has helped me just see such a joyous part of my life. So not only did I not think I was going to be a children's entertainer, I also didn't think I would be 50 and single and not have any kids. Like, I always saw my path as being married, having 2, 3, 4 kids, and basically maybe being a stay-at-home mom. And that's not been my path at all. And there was a time when there was a time when that's all I wanted and I couldn't imagine anything else. And then I would say probably in my early to mid 40s, there was that grace and a peace that I felt with whatever was going to be. And, I think it's just like God's touch or God's hands that said, you're going to be okay no matter what, whether you get married, whether you have kids or you don't, you're all right no matter what. And I felt that peace. So that kind of slowly shifted for me in my 40s to just feel content with whatever my life is going to be and to thrive in it, to really enjoy all the beautiful things that I have. Like, I, on a whim's notice, can go to Greece like I did this past summer to celebrate my birthday. I can go and travel and do all these things that I want to. And there's not many things I have to, nobody else do I have to be concerned about when taking trips like that. So I would say it's just that idea of trusting that you're on the path you're supposed to be on. And if you decide you want to change that path a little bit, you also have the control to do it. And to not, like, I always say, like, arm wrestle it, like, it should be like this or it should be like that. I'm like, no, like, there's beauty in whatever, in the present, in what I have right now. So
I don't know if you saw my conversation earlier this week with Jim Bartriff, but he talked about just being present in the present, and he said it in such a fantastic way, because it, we hear that a lot. You can't change the past. You can't predict the future. Just be here. But he said it in a way that didn't just say be here, but said be here and recognize what a gift here is. Even when it's hard, there are lots of present moments that are hard, but there's still probably a gift to be taken from them. Maybe not in the moment, but still gifts to be taken. So I love trust. Are your teas coming in other questions, or do you have more teas to put into this answer?
No, they're coming in other questions.
Okay.
So that was the main question for
great.
trust.
Love it. What do you know now that you didn't know before you turned 50?
Well, I would say the next T, which kind of piggybacks what Jim Bartriff, I didn't see his podcast, but it has to do with time, and that how time can be a gift. It can almost be a curse, and it can also be a blessing. And like sometimes the curse is sandwiched in between the two good things. So yes, I absolutely agree that being in the present is absolutely a gift. But also being able to look back when time goes by, it allows you to have perspective. And perspective is such a gift. When something can seem so hard in the moment and overwhelming and like you're not going to get over it, the gift of time is amazing, how that can honestly heal and lessen the intensity of whatever's happening to you. And so that is the gift for me, is being able to look back on time and to have that time in between. Maybe something bad happened, something good happened, to offer you perspective, to see it for what it really is.
That's lovely. Yeah, I think that's true. For the one person who's in my life on the planet who doesn't know this story, excuse me, Nicole was with me when I found out I was pregnant. In fact, I found out I was pregnant in Nicole's hotel room because we were off doing summer stock theater together. And that's just a perfect example. That was a pretty seismic, catastrophic moment in my life. And I can look back on it now, more than 27 years later, and say what a gift that was. But it certainly did not feel like it in the moment. Hard to see that blessing in that specific moment. But you're right. The gift of time and trust, both of those things really served that journey well. Okay. So if you could give your younger self any advice, and I don't care where you put your younger self, what would you tell her?
Get rid of your I shoulds. My life is supposed to be like this, and to really embrace what it's become and what you can create it to be. I would also tell myself to travel. That's the other T that I would say that I rediscovered when I went to Greece this spring, was the beauty and the gifts that travel can give you, because you come back, and you'll know this because you travel some, you come back changed a little bit. And
Mhm.
nobody really knows except you, but you're like, wow, I experienced this whole other place, this whole other time, a new culture, a new part of the world, and you feel a little bit different, right? You feel like, I don't know, like that's how I felt when I came back from Greece. I'm like, wow, I just had this incredible, incredible experience
Mhm.
of seeing architecture and history and cultures and people that I'd never met before. And you're like, wow, that changed me a little bit.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of travel, in my opinion.
I agree. I just want to piggyback on the first Sunday conversation with Rita and Vinod Lal because they also talked about travel, but they said travel while your knees are still good.
Oh, that's
You
true.
know, I
Yeah,
mean, at some point in life, travel does stop being achievable or really in big travel, you know, trekking off to Greece, trekking
right.
off around the world does at some point stop being something you can do. So do it while you can, when you can, even if you're a little bit afraid of it.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with being a little bit afraid because it means you're trying something new.
right.
All right, my last question for you. What has been one of or the most joyful aspects of being 50, Lester? Can you believe we're friggin' 50? It's amazing.
Oh, I guess probably it's just really appreciating what you've created in the first 50
Mm,
years of your life, to really appreciate who you've become. Like, I feel so comfortable with who I am and in my skin that I didn't feel when I was in my 20s and 30s. And I was finally just growing into all of that. And now I just feel, I feel the best I've ever felt about who I am and what I've done and even where I'm going in the future, and
mm.
just appreciating those little things.
I just have to add, you not only feel good in your own skin, you feel good in lots and lots of other characters'
Yeah.
skins as well. One of my favorite things, and I mean, because you've been in my life so long, I don't think anything of it, but I showed up in the cities to meet you for lunch, and I didn't have lunch with you. I had lunch with Fancy
You
Nancy.
did. That's true.
Or
Mhm.
the one kind of around New Year's Eve, you stayed at my house, and I got up early the next morning, and also the Snow Queen was in my bathroom, or you know, or I went to have afternoon tea with my niece and Tinkerbell, and it's so glorious that you have held on to that true gift of acting and performing and shining lights on little kids, and you have grown into who you are as a woman as well. You're not 21-year-old Nicole Fenstad in a 50-year-old body. You're 50-year-old Nicole Fenstad doing similar things to what you were doing at
Right.
21, but now with the benefit and the perspective of another 29 years of life.
Mhm.
And I think that's really incredible. And just as a side note, not many people could pull off Fancy Nancy at 50. I just want that noted. And nobody batted an eye. There we were in a restaurant, and you're wearing butterfly wings and this huge wig and striped tights. It just, when you show up, you don't apologize. You don't have any embarrassment. You don't have shame. You just show up as who you are. And so everybody else says, oh yeah, I guess this girl's just coming for lunch, and that's the end of it, and I love
Well,
that about you.
and I think people secretly, might find a little joy in it too, and, like, just the humor and the
There's not
childlikeness
enough
of
to
it.
smile about in the world. Most of us sort of have our heads down in our phone,
Right.
looking seriously at whatever it is that is distressing us. You're
Yep.
right, you show up like a ray of sunshine, and you're tough to miss.
Well, thank you.
Well, Lester, um, yeah, sometimes I wonder, you and I sitting on the floor outside the costume shop during Straw Hat Theater, making costumes for this, that, or the other, or being on stage or whatever. I wonder what we would have said about being 50. It would have seemed inconceivable to us.
Oh, so old, right? I mean, it's just like Golden Girls,
Yes.
right?
Well, because they were in their 50s.
I think you're
And
right.
the other thing is
Yeah.
that we have young moms.
Right, we did.
So when we were that age, I mean, my mom was only 38 when I graduated from high school.
Right.
So it took a long time before I had a 50-year-old mother. So I think that's some of why it felt old too. But I sure don't feel as old as I would have imagined 50 would feel.
Right. Yep.
It's amazing. Thanks so much for joining me, particularly on this busy day of getting ready to travel to see family. Say hello to your family for me.
I will.
And yeah, here's to the next 50.
Here's to the next 50.
Everybody else, I'll see you live tomorrow. I managed to wrangle a live guest on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving. What people won't say yes to if you just ask nicely. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Nicole. Bye.